Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera to everyone. My name is Alif Akmal bin Yusof, and today I want to present about my FYP review paper, which is the title is a review on the effect of diet and environmental parameter on the growth, reproduction, and biochemical composition of the pot. So for today, there will be four content, which is introduction, methodology, approach, finding, and conclusion. Okay, we start with introduction. Okay, for the introduction, a chopperpot, a small aquatic crustacean that can be found in wide range of salinity from freshwater to hypersaline and can be found almost anywhere there is water, and thus so are now as cover of the sea. So next is problem statement. So one of the problem that chopperpot have is there is lack of nourishment, which is malformation and malpigmentation. Other than that, development of tiny pelagic eggs, where the larvae emerge earlier in the development and have insufficient yolk storage and lack fasciation organ when then they hatch. So the objective of this review is to study the effect of the diet and environmental parameter on the growth, reproduction, and biochemical composition of the cephalopods. Okay, we'll move on to the methodology approach. There are four steps in methodology approach, which is the first one is searching, the second one is screening, and the third one filter, and the lastly is organize and report. Okay, the first one is searching. I will finding an article or journal at Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Scopus, Science Direct, and NCBI. And the keyword that I use is cephalopods diet and environmental parameter of cephalopod. And the article that I choose, they will be saved in the desktop and Mendeley. Next, we go to the screening. The screening process is the title, abstract, and result first to identify if it fulfill the inclusion criteria, and the paper must be in Bahasa Melayu or English. So for the next one is filter. So the journal that I find will be filter and inclusion criteria will be removed, and the filter will done manually by open original one by one and also by manually. And lastly is organize and report. It will arrange by author name and year, method, title, and outcomes. So we move on to the finding. The finding will divided by two, is effect of diet and effect of environmental parameter. So the first one is effect of diet. In terms of diet, in the finding, I will use the two diet, which is algae and artificial diet. The first one will go to the algae first. Okay, for the algae, the reason why most of the culture use algae as a main diet is because of the algae show positively on the cephalopod, and the major reason is they have potential source of nutrient and improve their culture of cephalopod. So in terms of growth, study by Rusdy and Keane that use a different species of algae show positively on population growth. Meanwhile, study by Sigwipu in 2016 also show positively on population growth by different algae also. In terms of reproduction, Rusdy and Keane that use fresh Tilutea or Dreamalosia species show increasing of egg sets. Meanwhile, Sigwipu uh, provide a highest production of egg by using Salina algae. In terms of biochemical composition, it was found that fatty acid was the highest composition found in the algae. Some of the fatty acid composition is palmitic acid, C16, ARA, EPA, DHA, PUFA, DHA content, and the value of the fatty acid is higher with some different algae. But the study that use Rhodobona species in other study show the Rhodobona species is the best algae to the chopperpot diet. Okay, next we will move on to the artificial diet. The reason why artificial diet introduced to chopperpot diet because it can reduce the cost. So, what is the benefit of artificial diet? So, study by Magos in 2021 investigate the effect of 4-feed diet, which is soybean, yeast, rice grain, and cornstarch. As the result, the the artificial diet rice grain was uh, the the highest in terms of the growth based on population composition. So among the four artificial diet, in terms of reproduction, rice grain take the highest feasibility in the choppy pot diet. Meanwhile, the second place is cornstarch, and the third place is soybean, and the lastly is yeast. In terms of the biochemical composition that found in these four artificial diet, the highest fatty acid that found in this artificial acid is C16, C14, MUFA, and SFA and UFA. But if we look into this table, the rice grain bring most value among the others three. Okay, so next we will move to the effect of environmental parameters. Okay, the first one is temperature. Study by Lee et al. In 2020, the ideal temperature is 330 Celsius, which is the effect is increase the egg production rate and hatching success. Meanwhile, study by Hazel, which also suggests in 30 Celsius, also state that ideal temperature are great in choppy pot growth but shorten the female lifetime. Meanwhile, the study by Didier Fricke in 2009 suggests that 10 Celsius is the ideal temperature, but the higher temperature, the higher production rate. Okay, we move to the salinity. Okay, a study by Hazel in 2005, it state the best salinity for the choppy pot growth is 30 to 35 ppt because it's the best salinity for choppy pot, and the growth rate of the choppy pot is greatest, and the production of egg is increased, and the longevity of female is more longer. Okay, for the pH, study by Lee et al. In 2020, it state that pH among 7 to 8 is the best pH for choppy pot growth and production because it can increase the hatching success. Okay, for the effect of temperature, salinity, and pH on biochemical composition of choppy pot, a study by Perumal et al. In 2009, the experiment was held in three different places and with three different environmental parameters, which is temperature from 28 to 34, and salinity from 4.8 to 35.7 ppt, and the pH was ranged between 7 to 8. And the results show the amino acid was the highest than the lipid, and some of the highest amino acid is serine, leucine, threonine, glutamic acid, serine, alanine, aspartic acid, valine, and methionine. And at different place, there was a different values. So, in the conclusion of this review, diet and environmental parameters are really effect and important to the growth, reproduction, and biochemical composition of choppy pot. Different diet may be different for the choppy pot, but in this review, algae are the best diet for feed choppy pot. Meanwhile, artificial diet of choppy pot, such as soybean, yeast, rice grain, and cornstarch, have been shown to augment choppy pot production and nutritional quality. In this study also, it's proven that environmental parameters such as temperature and salinity affect the growth and reproduction. Plus, the environmental parameters are also important to choppy pot survival. Okay, this is the reference, and thank you.